If you can follow this story, your English is good enough for living in America. Learning English like a native. Let's get started.
This is the story of a man named Forrest Gump. His life was a long and surprising trip. He did not always know what would happen next. He did not plan his path. Things just happened to him. But Forrest always kept going forward. His heart was simple and kind. He lived each day simply, and his life had many happy and sad turns. Still, Forrest always found a way to keep his good spirit. When Forrest was a young boy, his mama would tell him something important. She would say, "Life is a box of chocolates, Forrest. You never know what you're gonna get." Her voice was soft, like the quiet evening light. It was a gentle sound. She said these words on calm evenings. They would sit together on the swing at their big old house in Greenbow. This swing hung from the ceiling of the front covered space. It was a special place. Forrest loved those times very much. He loved being on this front covered space. He liked to feel the cool, clean air. This air came after the rain. The air smelled fresh and good. It smelled like wet earth and green leaves. He would listen to the quiet sounds of the evening. Sometimes he heard crickets singing. Sometimes he heard the soft sound of the wind in the trees. He felt safe there. He felt calm. His mama was always close by. Her hand might be on his arm, or she might be gently pushing the swing. He did not always understand all her words. Her words were sometimes big, but he understood the love in her voice. Her voice was like a soft song. Her being there was a warm, good feeling. It was like a warm blanket around him. That was all that was important to him. He felt safe and happy when she was near. He knew she loved him very much. This feeling was strong in his heart. He knew he was loved. But the world outside the front-covered space was not always so nice. Forrest was born with legs that were not straight. This made his legs weak. They did not work like other children's legs. Walking was very hard for him. Every step was a struggle. People thought he walked in a strange way. They would look at him. He had to wear special metal helpers on his legs. These metal helpers were called braces. They were there to help him walk better. They held his legs straight. The metal felt cold and hard against his skin. It was a heavy feeling. It felt like a weight. This feeling showed him all the time that he was different. He could not run and play like the other kids. When he walked, the metal helpers made a loud clank-clank sound. This sound was loud on the school's hard floors. It echoed in the hallways. The sound made his ears feel hot with a bad feeling. He felt like everyone was listening. He could feel the other kids' eyes on him. Their eyes felt like little sharp points on his skin. They watched him. Their quiet talking was like the sound of bees buzzing. It was a low sound. It made him feel alone. He wished he could be like everyone else. He wished his legs were strong. The school did not want to take him. They gave him a test. The number he got was too low. It was not enough. The man who was the school leader said Forrest was not smart enough. He said Forrest could not learn. Forrest's mama went to talk to the man. She walked into his office. Forrest sat outside the room and waited. He waited for a long time. He heard voices from inside. His mama and the man went into another room. They talked for a long time. Forrest sat still. He looked at his shoes. He wondered what they were saying. When she came out, her eyes looked tired. She'd been fighting for him. But she told Forrest he could go to the school. A small smile came to her face. His mama often told him, "You are no different than anyone else." She wanted him to believe it. She wanted him to feel strong. She always told him he was special. She told him he was smart in his own way. She taught him to believe in himself. Still, there were small things that made him happy. These little things brought him joy. A cold bottle of soda was a special kind of good feeling. He loved the sweet, bubbly taste. It was a treat. He loved the little bubbles on his tongue. They felt fun and fizzy. They tickled his mouth. And then there was Jenny. He met her on his first day of school. He was on the school bus. He walked down the small path between the seats. The other kids pulled their bags onto the seats next to them. They did not want him to sit there. They turned away. They talked softly to each other. They thought he was strange. No one made a space for him. His hands felt wet from sweat. He felt nervous. He felt alone. He did not know where to sit. Then a voice as sweet and clear as a little bell said, "You can sit here." It was Jenny. Her hair was the color of the sun, bright and yellow. It shone like gold. In that moment, his world, which had felt sad and small, suddenly filled with light. He felt warm and happy. He had found a friend. They became the best of friends. They spent many hours together. They had a special spot. It was under a huge old tree. The tree had branches that reached out like strong arms. They looked like they were giving a hug. They would sit there for hours. Jenny would talk. She talked about wanting to be a singer. She talked about wanting to sing on a big stage. Or she talked about wanting to be a bird. "If I were a bird," she would say. She would look up at the big, empty sky. "I'd fly far, far away from here." She wanted to leave. She wanted to see new places. Forrest did not want to fly anywhere. He was happy right there. He was happy listening to the sound of her voice. Her voice was soft and kind. He was happy feeling the warm sun on his back. He felt safe and calm with Jenny. He liked just being with her. He liked the quiet moments. He liked her dreams. One afternoon, when he was 10 years old, he heard the loud calls of children behind him. The same boys who were always not nice to him were chasing him. They were on their bikes. Their bikes made a whirring sound. They started shouting his name. "Gump! Gump!" they yelled. Their voices were mean. Then he heard the sound of rocks hitting the dirt road around him. The rocks landed with a thud. His heart beat a fast, hard beat inside his chest. It thumped like a drum. His own breath was hot and fast in his throat. He felt scared. He felt fear. Jenny's voice went through his fear. It was sharp and clear. "Run, Forrest, run!" she screamed. Her voice was strong. He ran. He used all his power to move his arms and legs. He pushed himself forward. He tasted the dust from the road in his mouth. It was dry and gritty. He ran so hard that his legs pushed against the metal helpers. He could feel the metal shake. It made a quiet sound from his own power. He pushed harder. There was a loud breaking snap. The metal on one leg could not hold on anymore. It broke. It flew apart. Then, with another step, a second snap came from the other leg. That one broke too. He didn't look back. He just felt light. He felt free. The wind rushed past his ears. It was cool and loud. He was flying. He was running faster than the bikes. He was running faster than he ever thought he could. The happy feeling of it was so big. It filled up his whole chest. He felt joy. He felt like he could do anything. He was running. After that day, Forrest fell in love with running. He ran everywhere he went. His legs, once weak, became strong. They were powerful. Running felt good. It felt like freedom. He ran to school. He ran home. He ran just for fun. His legs grew stronger and stronger with each step. He felt the wind on his face. It was cool and fresh. He felt the ground under his feet. It was firm and steady. Running was simple. Running was good. He did not need the metal helpers anymore. He could run on his own. He kept running every day. He ran all the way until he was old enough for college. He ran for many years. One time, when he was older, some young men in a truck started running after him. They were trying to catch him. They yelled from the truck. He just kept running. He did not stop. Soon he left the truck far behind him. He ran without thinking. He just ran. He saw a wide green field ahead. It was a college football field. It was a big, open space. That place looked safe. He ran right onto it. He did not see the players in their sports clothes. They were playing a game. They were practicing. He ran like a wild animal right into their football practice. He ran faster than all the players. They stopped. Their mouths were open. They were surprised. They could not believe what they saw. On the side of the field, the team's coach let go of the board he was writing on. It fell to the ground. His eyes were big with surprise. Forrest just kept running. He ran across the whole field and out the other side. He did not know that his run had just changed his life for always. He just ran because it felt right. He just ran because he could. The team's coach found him. He was amazed by Forrest's speed. He offered Forrest a place at the college to play football. On the field, the world became very easy. It was simple. He just had to run to the white lines with the ball to get points. He could run so fast. He was faster than anyone. He thought to himself, going to college is not hard. You just have to run. He played many games. He ran for many points. The crowd would cheer loudly for him. They would shout his name. He liked the simple rules of the game. He liked running. He liked being part of a team. He felt like he belonged. At the college, he again found himself in the middle of a big thing happening. It was a day full of noise and strong feelings. A leader of the state stood in a doorway. He stood there to stop two black students from going to school. He did not want them to enter. The air was heavy and hot. It was full of loud, angry calls. People were shouting. Forrest did not understand the bad feelings. He did not know why people were so angry. It was a puzzle to him. He just saw one of the students, a young woman. She dropped a book. The book lay on the ground. Its white pages were open like a bird that fell. It looked helpless. He walked through the angry crowd. He walked past the shouting people. He picked up the book. He handed it to her. Her hand was shaking when she took it. She was scared. He did not know why everyone was so angry. He just saw someone who needed help. He just wanted to be kind. He just wanted to do the right thing. He would visit Jenny at her school. He liked to see her. One rainy night he saw her in a car. The rain was falling hard. A boy was trying to get too close with Jenny, but she did not want him to. She looked scared. A hot anger filled Forrest. He felt a fire inside him. He ran over. He pulled the car door open. It made a loud metal sound. He pulled the boy out. He hit the boy hard again and again. He just wanted the sad look he saw in Jenny's eyes to go away. He wanted to protect her. He wanted her to be safe. He wanted her to be happy. Later, they were both wet from the rain. Their clothes were soaked. Jenny took him back to her room at the school. It was a room for girls only. She let him sleep there for the night. He could get dry. He felt happy just to be near her. He felt a quiet comfort. He finished college. Then he went into the army. The army was a good place for him. He worked very hard. He did everything they told him to do. He followed all the rules. He could put his gun together faster than anyone. He was quick and good at it. He could walk for a long time and not get tired. He was strong. For the first time in his life, he felt like he belonged somewhere. He felt like he fit in. He felt useful. He felt like he was part of something important. On the bus to army training, he met his best friend. His name was Bubba. Bubba's family was in the shrimping business. He knew everything about shrimp. He talked about shrimp all the time. He talked about big shrimp and small shrimp. He talked about how to catch them. He talked about how to cook them. He and Forrest became good friends right away. They talked about many things. Forrest listened. He liked listening to Bubba. He liked learning about shrimp. One day, while in the army, he saw a picture of Jenny in a book with pictures. She had no clothes on. Her eyes looked sad and lost. He felt a pull in his heart. He felt a deep worry. He took a long bus ride to find her. The bus moved slowly. The club was dark. The air was heavy with smoke that burned his eyes. It had the bad smell of spilled beer. She was on a stage. She had just a guitar. She was singing a sad old song called Blowin' in the Wind. Her voice was soft but sad. Some men were shouting bad things. Their words were mean. A strong anger filled Forrest's mind. He felt a hot rage. He walked through the crowd. He walked past the people. He picked her up from the stage. He carried her out into the cool night air. He just wanted to take her away from that place. He wanted her to be safe. He wanted her to be happy. He held her close. Then, he and his army group were sent to a place called Vietnam. He and Bubba went together. They were side by side. He got off the plane. The air hit him like a hot, wet wall. It was thick and heavy. The place was a world of green and brown. It was full of trees and plants. It was so thick with trees and plants that he could not see the sky. The only sounds were the drip of water from giant leaves and the constant loud sound of bugs that never stopped. Their leader was a man named Lieutenant Dan. His family had always been soldiers in America's wars. He was ready to do something brave in the war, just like them. He wanted to be a hero. He wanted to make his family proud. One day, a fight started. It was sudden and loud. Bombs dropped from the sky. They fell with a loud whistle. The people they were fighting started shooting from the trees. The sound was a very loud boom. It shook the ground under his feet. The air filled with the strong, bad smell of smoke and hot metal. It smelled like fire and danger. Forrest's body knew what to do before his mind did. He was running. He ran fast. He ran until the sound was a quiet, loud sound behind him. He stopped. His chest was hurting. His lungs burned. The place was suddenly quiet. Too quiet, and in that quiet a single thought came into his head. Bubba. He looked back into the dark, smoky trees. Every part of him wanted to stay safe. His body told him to hide, but Bubba was back there. He turned around. He had to go back for his friend. He could not leave Bubba. He ran back into the danger. He ran through the smoke and noise. He found one soldier who was hurt. He picked him up. Then he found another. He carried them one by one to the safe place by the river. He put them down gently. He made sure they were safe. On one trip back, he found Lieutenant Dan. He was sitting against a tree. His legs were gone. The ground around him was red with blood. It was a terrible sight. As Forrest reached for him, Lieutenant Dan's eyes were big with a very strong, loud anger. He was angry that Forrest helped him. He was angry to be alive. He had lost his legs. He could not walk. He wanted to die in the war, like his family. He wanted to be a hero in death. At that same moment through the smoke, Forrest saw Bubba lying on the ground just a short distance away. He was not moving. Forrest's heart felt like it stopped beating. He felt a cold fear. He knew he could not carry both at the same time. He grabbed the loud Lieutenant Dan. He put him over his shoulder. He ran. He dropped him at the river. Without stopping, he turned to run back for Bubba. He found him under a very big tree. The rain started, soft and cool. It washed over them. He held Bubba. Bubba felt small and not strong in his arms. "I want to go home," Bubba whispered. His voice was very quiet. It was almost no sound at all. Then he was still. A cold, empty feeling grew inside Forrest. It was where his being friends with Bubba used to be. He felt a deep sadness. He had lost his best friend. In the hospital in Vietnam, which smelled like cleaner and soap, he learned to play ping pong to make time go by. The steady tick-tock of the little white ball was a sound that made his mind clear. It helped him not think about the war. It helped him not think about Bubba. It was a simple game. It was a simple comfort. After he was sent home, the hurt on his back got better. The army saw that his skill was good. He was very good at ping pong. He became a well-known soldier. He played ping pong for other soldiers to watch. They cheered for him. He even went to China on a special trip for peace. He was famous, but he just did what they told him to do. He just played ping pong. He did not understand why he was famous. But Lieutenant Dan was full of a very sad feeling. He was a man who could not walk. He felt bad about himself. Both his legs were gone. He drank all day. He felt that his life had no purpose. He felt lost. He felt angry at the world. Forrest was a war hero. He got a special medal from the president. It was a shiny medal. He would often stay with Lieutenant Dan. He tried to slowly help him feel better. He tried to make him laugh. He tried to make him see that life still had good things. He tried to be a good friend. Then, one day in Washington, he found himself made to go on a stage. It was at a big meeting of people who did not like the war. He was not sure why he was there. People wanted him to talk about the war. He tried to speak about the war. He tried to speak about Bubba. He remembered his friend. Then his eyes moved over the huge crowd. They stopped on one person. She was standing in the not deep water of the big pool at the far end of the square. It was Jenny. His throat felt tight. He felt a sudden joy. He handed the thing you talk into to make your voice loud to the man next to him. He walked to the edge of the stage. He started to run. He ran right into the water. He made water splash. His eyes were only on her. It was like taking his first breath after holding his breath for a long time. He felt alive again. He ran to her. They spent the afternoon together. They talked and laughed, but their lives were very different. That night, she took him to the room where she was living with her new friend and his friends. It was a group of people who wanted fair treatment. The air in the room was heavy with a sweet smoke. It had an angry feeling. Her friend was a man with mean eyes. He did not like Forrest's army clothes. He yelled at Jenny. His voice was loud and harsh. Then he hit her. For the second time in his life, a pure, white-hot anger filled Forrest. He felt a fire inside him. He grabbed the man. He hit him again and again. He hit him until other people pulled him off. The room was a lot of shouting and fear. People were scared. Later, in the quiet, Jenny's voice was tired and sad. "You don't know what love is," she said. The words stayed in the air between them. They felt heavy. The next morning before he left, Forrest gave her his special medal from the president. He left her there, in that world he didn't understand. He felt a quiet sadness. He wished he could help her more. He kept his promise to Bubba. He bought a shrimp boat. He named it Jenny. Lieutenant Dan came too. He joined Forrest. For months they pulled up nets with nothing in them. The nets were wet with green sea plants. They smelled like the ocean when the water is low. The sun rose and set on an empty boat. Day after day, no shrimp. The paint was coming off the boat. It looked old and worn. Lieutenant Dan yelled at the empty sky. He was still angry. He was still sad. He felt lost. He felt like God had left him. He shouted his anger to the heavens. Then a very big, bad storm came. The sky turned a dark purple. It looked angry. The wind made a loud sound. It howled like a wild animal. He held the boat's wheel. It was a piece of wood that was wet and not smooth under his hands. He fought the storm. He held on tight. Beside him, Lieutenant Dan shouted into the wind. His voice was loud and sad. He was finally fighting the God he felt had left him. He was letting out all his anger and pain. He screamed at the sky. They made it through. The boat was still floating. After, the quiet sea gave them many good things. This time they caught a lot of shrimp. It was more than they could ever imagine. The nets were full. They became very rich. They had so much shrimp. They sold it and made a lot of money. Forrest kept his promise to Bubba. He had done what he said he would do. His mama died in the same bed she was born in. The room was quiet. It was a sad quiet. She held his hand. Her skin was soft and thin like paper. "You have to find your own way," she whispered. She told him to be strong. She told him to be himself. She told him to follow his heart. He was rich now. He had money. But sometimes at night he would sit on his front-covered space swing. He would look at the one picture he had of him and Bubba. In the picture, they were both young. Their arms were around each other. They had two big, happy smiles on their faces. A promise is a promise. He never forgot Bubba. He never forgot his friend. Then Jenny came back. She came to him. For a while, things were calm and good. They spent time together. They talked and laughed. They walked in the quiet fields. One day they walked to her old house from when she was a child. It stood empty. The windows were like sad, empty eyes. They looked like they were crying. The air around it felt cold. It felt like a sad memory. She picked up a rock. She threw it at the house. The sound of glass breaking broke the quiet. It was a sharp sound. She threw another and another. She threw them until she fell to the ground. Loud sounds of old pain finally came out of her. She cried with a deep sadness. Forrest just sat beside her on the wet ground. He held her close. He did not say anything. He just held her. He let her cry. That night, she came to him. In his quiet, dark room, he held her. For a moment, the empty feelings in both of them felt full. They felt a connection. They felt close. In the morning, she was gone. The front door closed with a quiet click. It was a sound that seemed too loud in the empty house. He stood in her room. He looked around. He touched the small spot where her head had made on the pillow. The sheets were still a little warm. He picked up the pillow. He held it. It smelled a little of her, like flowers after a rain. A hollow space grew in his chest. It was a quiet hurt that he could not speak about. It was an empty feeling. He put on his shoes. He started to run. He just wanted to run. He did not know why. He just felt the need to move. He ran across the whole United States. He ran for 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours. He ran for a very long time. Many friends came to run with him. They ran for a while, then left. He ran until the hurt in his chest was changed by the simple, real hurt in his legs. He ran until his body was tired, but his heart felt lighter. One day, on a long, empty road, he stopped. He felt the sun on his face. "I'm pretty tired," he said. "I think I'll go home now." A letter from Jenny was waiting. He went to her. He found her. He met his son. He was a little boy who looked like him. He had Forrest's eyes. A feeling of love so strong it almost made him fall filled him. He loved his son right away. He felt a deep, warm love. But the happy feeling was mixed with the very sad feeling. Jenny was sick. A sickness was inside her that the doctors could not make better. She was going to die. She came home with him. They got married in his backyard. The air smelled of freshly cut grass. It was a sweet smell. Jenny wore a white dress. She looked beautiful. Lieutenant Dan was there. He was standing tall with new metal legs. He looked strong. A woman from Asia with kind eyes was holding his hand. She smiled. He looked at Forrest. For the first time, Forrest saw real peace in his friend's eyes. Lieutenant Dan looked calm. For a short time, they were a family. There were quiet, happy times. Forrest would watch Jenny teach little Forrest to sing. Her voice was not strong but sweet. She sang soft songs. Those were very special times. They were together. They were happy. Then, on a Tuesday morning, Jenny died. The world felt quiet and gray. It felt empty. Forrest stood under their favorite tree at her new grave. It was a quiet place. He spoke to the simple stone with her name. He told her about his trip to China. He told her about the shrimp boat. He told her about his long run. He told her he missed her. He told her he loved her. Little Forrest stood beside him. He was holding his hand. Forrest felt sad, but he had his son. He had a part of Jenny with him. After that, Forrest's days were for his son. He spent all his time with him. He taught him to play ping pong. He taught him how to fish. He taught him how to put the worm on the small hook. He taught him to wait quietly and feel the small pull on the fishing line. He was teaching him everything he knew. He was teaching him about life. He was teaching him how to be a good person. He was teaching him how to be kind. He was teaching him how to be strong. He walked his son to the school bus. He watched him get on. He watched him find a seat. As the bus drove away, one white feather fell from his son's book. It was a soft, light feather. It went up in the air. It was taken by the morning air. It was moving and turning. It was flying to a place no one knew. It floated freely.
It makes you think, doesn't it? Is it the things we choose that make our life? Do we decide our own path? Or are we all like that little feather just moving on the wind, hoping it takes us somewhere beautiful?
Great job on finishing the story. You're one step closer to mastering English. See you in the next video.